What's happening? My name is Brad. Your host with the most. But now, if you've been a loyal Work Advice fan, you'll know this voice because I think she's on our network more than I am at this point. And she's like running. She's like my boss at this point. She just tells me what's going to happen. She said, "I'm joining the show," and I'm like,
I'm a
"Okay, I
hot
guess you are."
commod. I'm a hot commod. What can
Yeah,
I
she's
say?
a hot commodity around the podcast world. Ashley is joining us. She will now be my co-host, and I couldn't be more excited to have her on. It's so good to have her here. If you don't know her, she hosts Locks of Laughs, which is one of my dad's favorite shows on the network.
Whenever someone says that, like, oh, that's my parents' favorite, it's
Yeah,
usually not a good sign. But in this
yeah,
case, it is.
it's a very good sign. And she's also a co-host on a movie Torture, the hit movie recap show, and TV Torture. And she's doing some spot duty on Reality Redux. Is there a podcast on our network you just will refuse to ever go on?
I have to look at the titles and then I'll get back to you because it's all about the titles.
Everyday runner. Everyday runner. I don't.
Absolutely not.
You don't
No,
strike me as
it
a
sounds
runner.
like it has to do with going to the gym. I will not be on that podcast.
You don't know what you don't know, and that's about business starting. Being an
I
entrepreneur.
would do that. I mean, you don't know what you don't know. I'd probably go. I'd go on for like one episode, but I
One
don't know.
episode.
I don't think I would like. I wouldn't go on there and like have perform a TED talk.
Oh, what
On
about
what? Like it would be on what? Like nothing.
what about Reality Check with Heidi and Brad?
Is that about reality TV? Like,
Yes, that's.
yeah, I would do that
but
one. I love reality TV. I'm
we have to put
manifesting a
you-
reality show.
We have to put you in a reality show.
I'm
to get you on
manifesting it.
there.
I'm telling you, I'm manifesting it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I think our whole cast of characters is a reality show here at Hopecast. Truthfully,
I agree with that. I
could
would
we
agree with that.
could we launch a show called the Hopecast House, where we just put everybody
Like
in
we're all just in we're all in like different places though. Like we're all in like we're across the United States. Like where is that house that where everybody's gonna like bring their significant others to their kids and like just hang? We need a big house.
Funny you said that. I have a story I want to tell you.
There's like funny you said that. I just put we're closing
MTD wants to know if we're on. I just texted him yes. Okay. Here's the story. So you are buying a house, but I guess it's fallen through at this point.
that specific house. Yes, some people just aren't who they claim to be, and that's what I'll say about that.
Okay, we can talk more off air. But
Mhm.
Ashley is so kind. She's a friend of mine. She was like, "When we move into this house, I want you to come visit me." So I told my wife. My wife was like, "Yeah, we'll go visit her. That's fun." So then I tell my dad, who she knows MTD, and so we get in this whole conversation about what if we showed up and like everyone from Hopecast just started
Was
knocking
just
on your
there.
door, and they all had their dogs, their cats.
Honestly, I love to host, and I also love dogs and cats, and I have a dog and a cat, and I want more. So honestly, the more the merrier. I love to host. I love to bake. So I feel like I would just bake a bunch of cookies and cupcakes and pies and everything for everybody. Like I honestly like come on over, you know?
Yeah, but we're talking about just having like mass parties at your house. Like we just show up and
Bring
there's
the
like
tequila.
there's two crappers and there's 18 people living in your house. Yes.
Party.
And we just keep showing up and you're like finally you abandon ship and you just leave us there. And
At my I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to leave you guys at my house with my also I feel is my husband around for this? Like is he home? Did he leave me? Like
no, he's not left you. He's there. We're like and ironically listeners, Ashley and I always talk about movie ideas. This would be a great movie idea.
It would
where
be.
someone makes the kind gesture but doesn't mean it. Although you meant it. They're like, "Hey, come spend the weekend with me." And they're like, "We're going to take you up on that offer." And they show up with the extended family.
Well, it's like that episode of The Office when Kathy Bates is like the head of Sabre. Oh yeah, Joe, and she like comes and she's like, if you're ever down in Tallahassee, like you have a place to stay. And Michael's like starting MTD sounds like fun. Michael is starting to like plan it and like get like airline seats and stuff. Like she clearly didn't mean that. She was just like, oh, I'll take you to lunch. Not like you can't actually stay with the boss. But I actually do mean it. I would love for you and your wife to come and bring the kids, whatever. Like, I would love for you to come. And once we find a new house now, which by the way, we're looking at bigger houses now. It will be quick because our lease ends in September. So no matter what, we are moving into a house and it will be our dream house.
But we got to get the pool started. Are you getting the pool?
So this weekend, we're looking at 2 houses. One house already has a pool. The other house, we would have to put one in. But remember, we have until September.
Okay. So we can vacation whenever. Weirdly enough, you want us to come visit you. Alexa West, our crime time reporter for the Hopecast Network, invited my wife and I to go to Idaho on a rafting excursion, which we've never done a rafting excursion.
Like whitewater rafting? Or?
I think so. With her and her dude. She's not married. But she wants us to do that. Fun. Yeah, it does. But actually going to FLA and eating some of your food sounds really fun for a lazy guy like me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you tell me, here's my thing. When people come to visit me, I actually do go all out. I find out like how you take your coffee in the morning, how you take your coffee in the afternoon if you're a coffee drinker like throughout the day, which I am. I find out your snacks, sweet, savory, your favorite fruit, what you have for breakfast. Like I do go all out when I have, even if I have friends like stopping by I had a friend who who was leaving on a cruise from Miami. So she came here and stayed with me for one night because her flight was delayed like 18 hours. So we actually missed like getting to hang out. But she shows up here at like 1:30 in the morning. And I was like, I have the milk you want. I have everything you need for breakfast.
Oh my gosh.
Breakfast in the morning. Like I do go all out because I want people to feel comfortable. What I always hate, not always because it doesn't happen that often anymore, but like when you stay the night at someone's house, like sometimes it can be really uncomfortable waking up because like you don't want to overstep and be like, can I have coffee? Can I have this? Can I da? But like, what does Angela say? I'm coming to visit and I like my coffee decaf with vanilla oat milk creamer. Okay. I am writing that down.
Angie, we're going to start a reality show called Hopecast House, and we're all going to stay there for 3 weeks and we're going to record it and see the drama that happens while we record our podcast.
I actually think Angie and I would have like so much fun like together. Like we could watch reality TV together now.
You could. It would be fun. I would like to see you two hang out. Now, is MTD allowed to show up at your house?
For sure, but just remember we're looking at like 3-bedroom places and my husband and I occupy 1. So if we're able to get a 4-bedroom spot, like by all means, but just remember there will be like 2 guest rooms.
MTD can sleep on the floor. He's fine.
Okay.
He'll sleep in his Subaru.
At least I don't know. We're looking at, like, it's so weird looking at, you know what I've realized? Looking at photos is so for like houses, like rooms specifically. I guess you could say the same for food, like what I do. Sister Wivia.
Oh, y'all are sister wives now. Wow.
Sister Wivia, she wrote. #SisterWivia.
But if y'all are like sister wives, your husband is now married to Angie also, right?
I guess so.
Angie's man's okay.
Let me tell Scott. Sister wives, share everything. Face. I
don't even know what that means, but hey.
I have no idea what that means, Angie. Like, absolutely no idea what that means.
I don't know what that means.
I now have to tell my husband he's got like another chick with the first letter of her name is A.
And the smartest woman on the network.
There you go.
She's smart.
Can I call you Angie, Angela? I have been already, but solves the bedroom problem. Oh yeah, you can just bunk with us. Three's company, not a crowd. Did I just come up with that? Three's
company, not a crowd.
Yeah, like three's
MTD is MTD a is he a a Three's Company guy. I can't remember.
Well, what does that mean?
Does he like the
who?
TV show Three's Company?
Oh, my cat's
Is
coming
he a
to
Three's Company guy?
my cat's coming to say hello. She heard she's gonna get a new mommy, I guess. Come here.
Who, Angie from Reality Redux is going to be her mom? Wow.
No need to change the monograms on the towels. Let me tell you something about monogram towels, okay? Not a joke.
Okay.
Not a joke.
Before we get our guests, we've got to dive into your Mexico trip. Because can I just set this up really quick?
Yes. You
So I'm sitting on my couch last night, listeners, and Ashley sends me a text. And it just, can I read this text? I want to read what you said.
Yeah, you can read it. I don't even remember because it was like the heat of the moment.
It's hilarious, listeners. I get a text from her, and I'm just enjoying my evening, watching a little television, and gotta find it here. It's probably at the top because I was just texting with you, and it says, "Boy, do I have a diarrhea story for you tomorrow." That's it. She just left it hanging, and I go. So we need to dive into this diarrhea story. What's going on here?
Here's the thing. It wasn't, I think it might have been like, it didn't happen in Mexico. Like, I had a good time in Mexico, but that I got back Monday and I texted you this Tuesday. So I went with my husband and a friend of ours to like this very nice sushi restaurant. I went to Komodo here in Miami. It's sexy. Sushi. It's hot. It's in Brickell. Everybody cool goes there.
That's what everybody calls me when I walk around here in Minnesota. He's sexy. He's hot. Everybody likes that.
Everyone says that. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone.
So I go there and we're ordering, we're eating. It's divine. I use a lot of wasabi lately. I've been using a lot of wasabi, and that might be my downfall right now.
That is hot as all get out, though. I mean, you're talking next level fire.
Yeah, but like but whatever you're thinking of, like a little bit of wasabi, like times that by 672. That's how much I use, and then times that by 187. That's how much my husband uses. But like, back to me, yeah. I used a lot because I like a lot of wasabi sometimes, and I don't know. This is now the second time that this has happened, not specifically at Komodo, but like in general, the last like week and a half. I don't know what happened, but I started to feel like not so great. Like my tummy was rumbling, but I was like, you know what? This is nothing. Like I had a little bit, like I'm eating, whatever. Fire in the hole, Angela says. But then like it goes, you know how like when you're like kind of like praying, it's fine.
No, we talked about this the first time we met. There's two kinds of dumps. There's the T-minus 6 minute dump, and there's can't wait till I get home from work dump. And you're experiencing the T-minus 6 minute dump.
Well, but not right away. But not right away.
It hits you. It hits you.
I feel a little like icky, and then it goes away. And I'm like, okay, Mazel Tov, like great, like Baruch Hashem, like. So then like 10, 15 minutes go by, and I realize every single time my cat's coming to say hello. Every single time okay, good. Every single time I take a sip of water, my stomach is starting to churn a little bit more. So
because water's a diuretic. Water's going to make you poop.
You know what? Blessings. Be careful what you wish for. I always wish for diarrhea. Like I love diarrhea. I live for it.
You're the only person in the world I know that loves diarrhea.
But like dreams do come true. Here's the thing. I can honestly tell you, like dreams do come true because but it's just the timing of it all. That's what was so bad that I'm sitting there. Finally, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to excuse myself because I kind of think like,
are you at the restaurant at this point?
We've been at the restaurant for 2 hours.
Why don't y'all go home? Who sits at a restaurant for 2 hours?
We were eating and having a beautiful dinner.
Yeah, but at this point, you need to have a beautiful moment with the toilet.
Did you just see something float across my screen again?
No, I didn't. I didn't see that. People pay big money for colonics.
No, absolutely. And I love enemas. Like, Angie, I'll do at-home enemas, like, sometimes, not all the time. Like, I'm not crazy. But, okay, let me get back.
Wait, can you book us one of those coffee enema people. I've been
I've never
trying to
done
do
that.
that.
I've only done the
for 2
at-home.
years.
It's like $1.30 to get like one saline solution enema from CVS. Like it's not expensive. I love them. It's actually like I'm getting all like tingly inside thinking about it.
Oh
Like I
my
want to do
gosh.
one later. Not I don't need to anymore because okay, let me bring you back to last night.
Let's bring it back.
So I am
Kristen's about to join us now. Let's finish this after
Okay.
Kristen's.
all right.
So we're going to leave everybody on a
Let me tell you, it only gets
let's leave
better
them
or
on
worse.
a cliffhanger at this point. Let's leave them on a
Alright.
cliffhanger.
Okay. Let her
We're going
in.
to let her in. We're going to let her in. Hello, Kristen.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
It's always good to have you on the show. And
Thanks for having me.
we're excited. You're here with Ashley. And
Good to see
we
Ashley again.
were just in the middle of a cliffhanger. Ashley's story of eating a ton of wasabi.
I don't know if it was the wasabi that did it, honestly. Because I've
Something
eaten a
destroyed
lot of
your
wasabi
stomach.
before, but yeah, I think yes. So I was just about to tell like how my dreams do come true, like because I love diarrhea. Kristen,
Ugh,
nobody's done
I
it.
don't
Love it.
understand why. Kristen,
Love it.
Kristen's never coming back on now. We read her off.
Well, I just don't want you to like. I
She's
want you to
out
like
here.
get to know me. So
Yeah.
I love it. I use
The
it's so
only
funny
person.
because like 10 years ago I was so embarrassed to ever even like say the word poop, and now I'm like, who wants to talk about it?
Now she talks about it all the time.
All the time. Like my first conversation with Brad, I was like, so like when's the last time you went? Like
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know.
like
That's a lot of information.
Thank you, Kristen. Hey, Kristen, enough about the poop. We're going to go back to that with you, Ashley. Let's talk about, for one, what you've been up to lately, because we're excited to have you back. What's something that's been highlighting your life at this point? And
Yeah.
are you okay from the fires?
Yeah. I was like, a lot of our month, I kicked off the year on the red carpet at the Golden Globes. And then 2 days later,
yeah.
the whole city blew up. And that was honestly such a weird, like whiplash type of effect of, and I jinxed it too. When I was on the red carpet that night, I said to a friend, this feels like the first normal award show season we've had in years. Yeah.
Wow.
And then I was like, well, I ruined that one.
Yeah.
But you know, it's been a really somber time in Los Angeles. I have a lot of friends who lost their homes, lost absolutely everything. So it's going to be a long time of recovery, I think, and just kind of like getting to feel what's normal. I think some of the positive things that have come out of it, the sense of community in Los Angeles, that's great. People are still continuing to volunteer and donate money and try and help out. But also the big call for, you'll probably see a lot of the hashtags, stay in LA. And it is the call to bring production back to Los Angeles. And, you know, the pandemics didn't, you know, sort of make the movement happen, and neither did the strikes, but it seems like the wildfires are the one that's really bringing everyone together, going, we need production back in LA to help us recover.
Do you think it'll actually work?
I think it will have some impact. And I think that's because our governor right now realizes that this particular area, in order for it to rebuild, you need to make sure that the crews can stay here and live and work, and actors as well, because so many people have moved out of the area. As you know, Ashley, you were here, weren't you? Yeah,
I was. I
Yeah.
moved in December, so I left just in time.
So yeah, you exactly know.
As
And
the fires were starting now.
just about really.
I
Yeah,
really
now-
have to go back and get my candle. So like just let me know when I can come
Gosh.
back.
Oh my gosh. When I was
Terrible.
buying things for my friend who lost everything, I was doing a Target run and I was like, candles are not one of the things I'm buying to replace, you know, home decor right now.
Yeah.
You're just like, no. But I think it will have an impact. And there's a big call for, we have a new set of tax incentives that start in July of this year. But people are asking for more, and I hope that helps.
Was it Schwarzenegger or was it Newsom who basically decided we're going to tax and we're not going to offer any tax breaks to productions anymore? Because that's really what happened, right? They started going to Vancouver, they come to North Carolina, they go to Atlanta now, anywhere but California, right? Is that it's very, very few things are produced there anymore, right?
Very few things, and I'll tell you, it's at one point in late last year, Fox, and we're not even talking about a streamer or anything else like that. Fox was only producing The Masked Singer here. Every single scripted show and unscripted show was filmed out of town, and they even do a lot of unscripted like kitchen shows. What does he do? Like Kitchen Nightmares and things like that. Australia. They fly people
Well,
to Australia.
Wow.
Or they go to Ireland. Ireland has
yes,
become a really weird competition place to do business, like reality shows. It's very strange.
the floor people, they tell us all the time it's Ireland. They go all the way to Ireland to film the floor, which you think they would just do it on a back lot in Hollywood,
Burbank.
but
Burbank.
but they're not getting those tax breaks. They need to get the breaks, right? They need to
And
bring them back.
they need to bring it back. And I will tell you, Atlanta is also losing that battle too to the UK. UK has unbelievable tax incentives, and that's where everyone's going. And you'll see a lot of actors saying, "Oh, I'm moving to London." It's because they're working there all the time.
What? Why would they
I'm
want to
bowing out
push?
for 1 second.
Okay, why would they want to? Why would they want to push Hollywood out of these cities? I feel like they were. That's like an income boom for these towns to be hosting, and it's crazy that it's cheaper for them to fly a whole crew to Ireland than to just bring them out to Los Angeles and put them up in a Marriott and record.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just don't understand that. It seems really bonkers to me, Chris. And I
It
don't
is really
understand it.
bonkers to think that they'll put an actor like on a first class flight to
Yeah.
Europe instead of just saying, "Hey, you're down the street, drive
Yeah.
yourself over." And that's what really needs to be addressed. And in order for LA to have a faster recovery, we need to have production stay in LA. And the decision to do award show season, not postponed or anything else like that. It's, the Grammys are going to take on a different tone. They'll be a little bit more somber, but all the parties this week were canceled. But the Grammys alone bring in $200 million to the city, and
Oh.
6,500 people work on the show. And you think, how is that possible at the Staples Center or the Crypto Arena, whatever it's called now? But you have to remember it, and it's the support industries. It's everything from the driver who is taking, the stars to the show, makeup artists, florists, caterers. All of those things bring an incredible amount of revenue, and that is why award show season was not postponed.
Do people are the Grammys still a big thing? I've never watched an episode of the Grammys. I've never watched one.
An episode of the Grammys.
I sound like an old man. I've never watched an episode of the Grammys.
I love the
never watched it.
Grammys because you get a collection of artists who are normally never in the same room together. And I think of Luke Combs last year with Tracy Chapman singing Fast Car together. They're normally not, in the same room. They're not normally singing
Sounds
together.
interesting.
And that was probably one of the most moving parts of the Grammys last year. They opened the show.
I'll be honest, I'm not like a big music person. Like I love music, but I love what I listen to. I don't hear a lot of new stuff often. So the Grammys to me, like unless they're honoring someone that I'm already a fan of, I don't watch.
Makes sense.
Okay,
But I'm not in the music industry. Like it's just not like
Same
what-
here. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
cover it. People are like, "Are you covering the Grammys?" I'm like, a music reporter is so different than your general entertainment reporter that covers TV and film, because music genre is huge. You have to know your Christian rock as much as your country and your pop
Right.
and your rap. It's a big genre to cover.
Kristen, I would think that it would be hard to cover music now. Spotify's probably changed the landscape of music.
Mhm.
And just like streaming has changed the landscape of movies and TV shows, it's just a whole new crapshoot. Then you got the Golden Globes, which I might have watched the Golden Globes a couple times.
I used to
What?
watch the Golden Globes and the Oscars religiously. But the last decade, I would say I haven't. So, but before that, since for 10 years straight, I think I watched them religiously. You know what? The last couple of years for the Oscars, the last 2 years, I went to viewing parties, and I did watch at the party, and that was great and beautiful and lovely. But in between, but the thing is, watching them, I was really out of the loop because I hadn't seen not all, but some of the movies that were nominated, and that's always been like, even though you have the DVDs, like I'm gonna watch them, they're sent, and then I don't end up.
Kristen, why is I want to ask you this because you're in Hollywood. Why does the Academy Awards? Why do they? First off, they have this new rule, right? It's like a diversity inclusion rule, whatever this rule is. And I love seeing the article where it said Madam Web was not able to qualify for.
Wasn't going to qualify for anything with the Razzies.
Yeah, it couldn't qualify. Was there anybody on the set of Madam Web going, "This is Oscar worthy"? We're making. I mean, that movie looks like a steaming pile of crap. From just watching
Dakota Johnson even told you it was a steaming
Yeah.
pile of crap.
Like, the article itself was hilarious. I'm like, nobody even they could have the most diverse cast in the history of Hollywood and it would not get nominated, right?
But wait, I'm confused. What was not diverse about the movie? Because
You have to include a certain amount of minorities in the movie now to be. That's not it. Explain it, Kristen. I'm wrong.
It can be, you have to have a certain amount of, underrepresented groups working on the film. Doesn't have to be on camera. It can also be a part of the crew.
It can be in the crew. And they determined that there weren't enough. Is that, I didn't read the article, so I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not
They didn't meet the minimum, right? So then it was excluded from Best Picture nomination. I can't even. It's so funny, man.
And nobody's upset. And I can't even believe that article was written. You know what I mean? Because
like it wouldn't have been. It was only. It was written to spout like a narrative. Like it was not
a clickbait title or controversy where there's no controversy.
And the thing is, I love Dakota Johnson, so I'm not like knocking her, but
she's funny.
I apologize, but like that movie wasn't going to be nominated for Best Picture. I did see that movie actually, and I don't watch superhero movies.
I don't watch them much either, but they could have been someone that just didn't like the director, maybe, or Sony who produced it. And they're like, I'm going to write this just to make them look even more stupid.
Who's the director?
I don't even know who the director is. I don't know, but
we have to look it up.
I'm looking it up right now.
I was also going to ask Kristen why. Well, one, last time us three were together, I'm pretty sure I said I was excited to see Joker 2. I'm pretty sure we were talking about the fall. I'm going to go back and get that drop, and I'm going to drop it on episodes in the future. I can't wait to see Joker 2. Kristen, I literally watched Joker 2 with Jacob, who's on my movie Torture Pod with me, and our wives, and it was hands down the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. Of every movie, I've seen thousands of movies. It was the worst. I bet you that movie, The Room, that everybody says is terrible, is better. The one that Franco made the movie about.
Right.
What was? I bet it's better than this.
I know that movie. Yeah.
I watched Cocaine.
I did not.
Yeah, I watched Cocaine Shark, and it's a better movie than Joker 2. I do not. What is going on? Why was it? Was it Todd Phillips just middle fingering Hollywood? What was it? I don't understand it. Help me understand.
A bad movie. A bad movie is a bad movie. You know, I think that's really what it was. And
can I ask
I think they had this. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think when people are making, is there a point within the movie making where they hit a moment and they're like, oh, this actually, like they think it's good up until a certain moment, and they're like, oh, this actually is really, this is bad. This is a bad movie. Like, has that happened?
You'll hear it from actors. It does. And you'll hear it from actors. You'll hear it more from crew members if you know someone who works on big films. And they're like, we knew the whole time that this was awful. But you know, they're grateful for the work. They're like, great, you know, I'm working for 3 months on this. So I think it's harder for the actors because they're the ones who are the faces of the product. And the only thing they can control is their own performance, you know, of like, I'm going to just serve what's on the page. Hopefully I can do something with it. But I think a lot of times, like oftentimes the script that they originally get when they sign on versus the script that sometimes happens once you make it to set can be two different things. Like the studios had their hands in it and it's never the movie you signed on for.
That what Dakota Johnson said happened with Madam Web, that it was different? And then by the time they started filming, it went through so many rewrites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get that with Madam Web, but Joker was $1 billion movie. The Joker from 2019. You're not getting Joaquin Phoenix back and then changing it up on him. He read what basically this movie is going to be. There's no way Kristen, am I wrong? There's no way you're getting him to come back for this if he didn't sign up for this. I mean, he smoked way too many cigarettes at this point to sound like he did in Walk the Line. He can't sing anymore. It's gone.
Oh, that's
It was terrible. And there's one actor, one of the guards. He's a comedian. He's been making the rounds, or he was. He went on Joe Rogan and was like, we were making this movie and we knew this movie sucked. We didn't even know what it was about. We were like, what is this movie about? And this guy had a prominent role in the movie. He was a guard in this movie.
That's the best
so
when you're like,
confusing.
I don't even know what it was about. I mean, that's hilarious. There are times, a couple things I would question. I wonder what Joaquin's contract looked like when he originally signed on for the first Joker. He may have had, the studio may have had him under contract and he had to do the second one no matter what.
I guess you're right.
That can happen a lot. My other thought is that sometimes actors just want the darn paycheck. You have your second mortgage to pay for, like the country home or wherever else, or, you haven't worked in a while and you're like, just need that check to clear.
Here's the thing, Kristen. I like the Joker, the original Joker. It was good. And in this movie, the best part was the cartoon at the beginning. It was my favorite part but I just want to see a movie where the Joker and Harley Quinn running around Gotham, robbing banks, shooting people in the head, laughing and having no care for the destruction. That would have been a great movie. I didn't want to see Arkham and singing the whole time. It was one of those movies, Kristen, where we paused it and I was like, man, we're at least an hour in, and we were like 30 minutes in, and it felt like we were an hour. We still had like an hour and 40 left in this movie, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was the worst experience I've ever had watching a movie. And then, Kristen, to add insult to injury, we had to watch 2 movies that night, and the second one was Red One, which was terrible too. So it's like
that is torture. What an awful night.
It was an awful. We were friends, but it was still awful. Red one of the worst movies of the year, also in my opinion.
I haven't seen either of those movies.
Save yourself,
I
Ashley.
went to see Joker 1 with my husband in theaters, and we thought we were going to see like a regular superhero movie. We didn't know we were going to see what it was. So. And I also just want to apologize for my mic. It looks like it wasn't hooked up when we started recording, and I can't change it. So sorry, guys. You're not going to be able to hear me that well throughout this recording.
I hear you fine. We'll be fine.
Okay.
Kristen, I'm excited about having you on because I have been consumed with this Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni. It's the story that will never die.
Never.
I mean, it's never going to die. You and I will be pushing up daisies one day, and they'll still be talking about Justin Baldoni's family has a lawsuit against Blake Lively's estate. Something like that.
I can't wait until they turn this into like a mini series.
Oh, it's going to be a Netflix doc. It's going to be a Netflix doc.
But not even the Netflix doc.
The scripted series of it.
Yeah, and like Tubi will release one in 2 weeks. But like, I can't wait for like
you're playing Blake Lively, right?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
You go to 18,000 layers of clothes while you do the It Ends With Us wardrobe.
But I'm talking like the Ryan Murphy, like
AMC
or something, if that's still a thing. Like I'm talking like the real legit, like they're casting in, it's gritty and it gets in it, and like we're gonna find out so much new stuff. But I it's gonna be like the new Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial.
Yeah.
If they actually go to court, which they might, because no one demands a court, like no one sues for $400 million and demands that it goes to court if you don't want to go to court. And you
have a long time before we go to court too. The court date was set for March 2026.
Oh my, are you kidding me?
They're just going to be both sides are just going to be gathering more and more and more. There's going to be the smear campaigns between all of them are just going to be insane moving forward.
She's requesting a gag order, so she wants the judge to not allow him to release anything else, right? Which is, to me, shows your guilt, because if I was innocent, I'd be like, release all you want, Justin Baldoni. I got you by the stones at this point, but she doesn't have him by the stones. There's no way.
She requested that.
She
Wow,
did.
I feel
She's
She
been
like
turned
requested
down
again.
several times by the judge too. So
interesting.
I feel like Hollywood. Maybe I'm wrong. Ashley and I have talked about this off air, Kristen. I feel like she's gonna have a hard time getting a job after this for a while because I don't feel like Amber Heard is lining up the gigs at this point, and Johnny Depp still to hasn't recovered either. I mean, it's not like he's being cast in major movies.
Right.
I mean, she destroyed Johnny Depp, and Justin Baldoni's not Johnny Depp. He's not on Johnny Depp's level, but he's getting destroyed.
I have
And
some thoughts on all of this. Going back to Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, both sides and the narrative of this played out so differently in the media than what actually was if you look at all the court documents. In the end, they were both found guilty, both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I would say the weight of it fell on Amber Heard's plate versus Johnny Depp, but the judge and the jury both said that there was fault on both sides. I think it was a super toxic relationship. I think Johnny Depp had a lot more money to bury her, and I think he did. I think they've both struggled in.
She didn't do herself any favors.
She did not do herself any favors. I'm not saying that she's not. I mean, there's definitely blame to put on there, but there is also the blame which we're kind of hearing in terms of what crisis PR is. And I'm telling you, what's happening with crisis PR is going to be the main narrative of what comes out of Justin Baldoni as well as Blake Lively, this case too.
I first heard of crisis PR, I think it was during like a couple years ago when a bunch of reality stars were having issue, like being fired and saying terrible things, and then quickly realizing that wasn't the right thing to say, and then contacting a crisis PR and like going to the point of like updating their social media platforms with like their PR people's email addresses to be like, if you need to communicate with me, this is the only way.
Yes, and if anyone who watched Scandal on ABC back in the day with Kerry Washington, she played Olivia Pope, who was a crisis publicist. She was so good at that. That is where, I mean, she was a political crisis publicist, but same thing, the fixer. And let's just pretend I am a crisis publicist, and I'm trying to fix something that you did, and you did it. Okay, you're guilty. My job is to make you look like sunshine and roses, no matter what. So,
but so I'm guilty. Your job then is to make the audience, meaning the public,
turn the tide toward you.
Like say like, yeah, she may be guilty, but she did it because of. That's your job.
That's my job. So what I'm going to do
you're not denying it. You're just saying like she did it, but her reason was.
I'm not even necessarily saying you did it. I'm not going to come out as a publicist and say you did it. My job is to make you look great. So I might call the paparazzi and go, all right, Ashley is like down at the LA Mission serving up meals for the homeless. And I'm going to make sure that TMZ photographer is down there taking photos. Now, Brad, who is not my client, I'm going to dig up that one random video where he said one random thing, and I'm going to edit it down to make it sound worse. And then I'm going to release it and have like one of my handlers who's on TikTok and has this random account release this awful video about Brad that's been edited 18,000 ways. Now Brad looks like the bad guy, and people are like, well, look at Ashley serving up meals right now. That's what's happening. It happened like with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It's happening in the Blake and Justin case, and they all have, crisis PR working behind the scenes.
But like Justin stayed quiet for a little bit. Like he stayed quiet up until like there were moments like he was a little quiet after her first lawsuit, and then all of a sudden he's still kind of quiet.
But he hired crisis PR while the film was premiering. After we realized that they were not talking, and fans started going, wait, what's going on? That's when he hired a crisis publicist. And I was like, why is he doing that? And he must have known. And I'm going to say this too, because Blake and Ryan Reynolds don't have the greatest reputation in the industry either. He must have known.
I want to get to that.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, like, this is kind of like the weird perspective that there's so many layers, and that the side to take is no side at all. That's what I'm just saying in all of this, because there's so many layers of people working behind the scenes. My friend is like really good friends with Justin Baldoni and has had nothing but incredible things to say about him. Anyone I know who's worked with him has said lovely things about him. So I'll put that out there as well. But what I'm just saying is that there's people just working behind the scenes, and Justin must have known, based off of what was happening behind the scenes, when you have Taylor Swift like helping gang up on you with Blake and Ryan to get script changes. He must have known that this was coming, that a lawsuit was coming or a reputation smear was coming. And that's why he hired Crisis PR of his own as a defense move.
Okay, let's play, Kristen. Let's imagine that Ashley accuses me of just berating her off air and being a jerk here at the network to her.
Okay.
Would it not? And I did that. I'm guilty. I did it. Okay. Would I not come out looking
Allegedly.
better? No, hold on. Would I not come out better saving my money, not hiring a PR crisis person, and I just come out and go, you know what? Ashley's right. I was a total tool bag to her. I said some things I regret. I told my wife I should not have said that. I am truly sorry, and she is right. Would I not? I think I would look better than her at that point, because they'd be like, "Man, this guy's being so genuine." Like I did it. I called her every bad
accountability.
Name. That's what I'm saying. We don't have accountability in any of this. She's being a baby, and he's trying to be accountable. But you're right. You can't take it. If I had to side, I'm definitely siding with him. But you're right. I think the truth's somewhere in the middle, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And even though I was like, I always go in situations like this, like two things can coexist. Right. Blake Lively can have a lousy reputation in Hollywood, but she could have also been sexually harassed, which nobody deserves. Then you can have Justin Baldoni, people have had amazing experiences with and love him to death, and he's got a good reputation. And he still might have been not great to Blake Lively because perhaps they just didn't get along. There's people we all just don't get along with as much as you try. And all of those things can exist. But because now she's suing him for $250 million, and he's suing her for $400 million, we're going to have to let a judge decide.
He has way more to lose in this than she does, because she has that Ryan Reynolds money. And I got to say, you're my favorite entertainment reporter ever. And I love talking to you. So when I see how she treats, like that video, how she treated that poor entertainment reporter, I can't help but think, like, what if that was you? I would be so mad if you're sitting there, you're doing your job, you're hired. That lady's hired to interview about this Woody Allen movie. And she asked about the style because the movie was in the 50s. It's a different style. It's not like it's now. And she's so rude and condescending to that lady. It makes me so mad. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And there's we've seen multiple interviews too of her being kind of snarky to people. That's really unfortunate. And, you go all the way back to Gossip Girl, and there were always rumors on the set that Blake Lively wasn't getting along with certain members of the cast. And, that's unfortunate. And it's just one of those things. And you hope that those stories aren't true, as her career goes on. She's got 4 girls of her own, she's a mom and everything, because you do want to support other women. You want to, I want to be like, okay, Blake, I'm so sorry we've misunderstood you. But this whole situation is crazy because you've got Blake and Ryan with a lot of money. And I think a lot of people don't realize that the investor in Justin Baldoni's production company, Wayfarer Productions, is Steve Sarowitz, who is a billionaire. And he's helping to back the $400 million lawsuit against Ryan and Blake. And I think, that's where I say there's so many layers and people working on this. And a billionaire is not going to just randomly throw his money into a court case on something like this. So he must feel like Justin has a case. And the other thing I'm going to add, just as a quick little button, there is a sequel that is hanging in the balance.
Because he has the rights, right?
Justin Baldoni still has the rights. So it ends with us and it starts with us.
But apparently that this version that was released to the public, which I did see, is not what he wanted to have been released. It was different. It was her vision, perhaps.
Can we pause this for a second, Kristen? We have a special guest that's going to pop in right now, and for a monkey minute. Hold on. There's my friend Tanya.
Hey,
Tanya, what's
how are
happening?
you guys? Good. Hey, how are you guys? I'm doing good.
Kristen.
Hi.
Kristen, this is Tanya from Chimp Crazy.
Hey.
The
Nice to
hit
meet you.
the hit show on Max. And Kristen, Tanya, Kristen is an entertainment reporter.
Oh,
And
awesome.
I wanted you to come on for a moment with Kristen because I want to ask Kristen, can Chimp Crazy be nominated for an Emmy? An Emmy. Yes, it's Emmy.
An Emmy. Yes, it can.
Okay.
And so what was the premiere date for Chim Crazy? Do you remember?
August 18th.
Okay, great. So it falls within the cycle of the 2024-2025 television season. Just so everyone knows, there's actually like a season every year. So it started June 1st of 2024 and it will end May 31st, 2025. So
Awesome.
anything that debuts within that time frame is eligible to be submitted for an Emmy.
I want to get Tanya to the Emmys. That's my goal.
I love it.
I want to see Tanya.
I love that.
You know, Kristen, I saw Nikki Glaser. Is that how you say her
Glaser?
last name?
Nikki Glazer.
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 Uh-huh.
She did a promo during Sunday football where she was like, I got the Chimp Crazy lady sitting here tonight at the Golden Globes. And I was like, oh, she's talking about our friend Tanya.
Yeah.
I like that. But then I looked, I don't think the Golden Globes do documentaries.
No,
They don't do docs.
no.
I wish they did.
It was
They don't
just
do
kind
docs.
of it was basically kind of a makeshift because, she said Planet of the Apes is here at this seat and then Chimp Crazy here. So it was a parody because, and then they played the jungle music and that type
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
But they actually put that commercial on several times throughout waiting for the Golden Globes. So it was a big
Oh.
commercial for Golden Globes.
That's great.
Well,
Yeah.
Tanya, what do you have for us today for Kristen, Ashley, and I monkey news? Do you have any monkey news we need to know? How is Tonka? Have you got any updates on Tonka and PETA?
Tonka is doing Tonka. He's surviving. He's not happy, but he's surviving. As far as the PETA thing goes, they just keep trying harder and harder to do anything they can to basically put me out of business. So just typical PETA stuff. And as far as monkey news, there's several things. Like they did capture all of the 43 primates that escaped. They finally got the last 3. So everybody's safe again.
That's good.
That's in South Carolina, Kristen. There was
Yes.
40 primates on the loose in South Carolina. And they caught
Wow.
them.
How did that
Wow.
happen?
Basically, it's a lab that raises macaques for experimental purposes, and basically these macaques had never been exposed to anything. They were just in their breeding ground because that's basically a facility for breeding for those purposes. But they ended up a cage was left open and 43 of them escaped, and they just now finished finding the last 3. So.
Speaking of cages, Tanya, we found out last night we left our garage door open and went to bed last night. So it can happen. That guy who left that cage open.
Oh, easy. It can happen. I'm sorry.
My wife would be like, I can't believe you left the cage open. Tanya, I love that you brought us a monkey minute. I'm so appreciative. It's always good to see you. It's always good.
Seeing you and very nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too,
Kristen.
Tanya.
Yeah.
Go get that Emmy. Go get that
I'm going to
nomination.
try. Hey, if
Oh.
you leave it up to him, he's a go-getter. So hopefully we'll get that done.
I want
Good.
it done. And Tanya, when you get that Emmy, I want to come out and we're going to have a party
Let's
to
have
celebrate. We'll have a party. I want to be at this party. We got to
All
do
right.
it.
a party.
We're
Okay,
gonna
let's do it.
Party down at your house.
Okay, great.
Or
Hey,
in Hollywood.
big enough. Okay, take care, guys.
See you,
Thank
Tanya.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, now let's get back to Blake and such
That's
That
our monkey
hair.
minute.
that's our Kristen, how many networks have a chief chimp correspondent? I think we might be the first. I think we might
Yep.
I think
You're
so.
pioneers in the monkey
be. She brings
minute.
it every time. She'll just give us a monkey minute and then she leaves.
She's
So,
adorable.
but if she gets out there, we're all going to meet and have a party with her, Kristen. You got to come to
Hey,
this. We got to party
Emmy's-
together.
Well, come out to LA because Emmys week is so much fun. I actually like Emmys week better than Oscars week because it's 2 weeks. The
Oh,
first week is Creative Arts Emmys, which would actually be where Monkey Minute, where her show would likely be nominated under
Monkey
the
Minute
Creative
would be
Arts
good.
Emmys. Yeah, Monkey Minute. But if she did get a nomination, she'd probably that documentary category would likely be in the Creative Arts Emmys the week before, and then she could stay. And then there's like a week of parties, and then the primetime Emmys happen the following week.
See, I like the Oscars season because I like going to all the parties and the gifting suites and stuff like that.
Gifting suites are good.
I
Yeah.
love those.
I want to get to the Oscars before Kristen leaves, but I want to wrap. I want to continue this and wrap up this Justin Baldoni story because we were talking the Ryan Reynolds thing. I feel like he's probably. Is it safe to say he's probably top 3 most bankable star in Hollywood at this point? He's pretty bankable. Like he's
Oh,
Very
He's huge.
bankable.
Isn't he basically a billionaire now?
I
with
would
Mint.
say Mint Mobile,
Mhm.
Gin.
Right.
He's got also what is his
Doesn't he have a
advertising marketing company?
that I don't
Because he's now doing marketing for all of his films now, so he's getting like double the pay.
right.
He's doing the
doesn't-
marketing for all his. He did the marketing for Deadpool and stuff.
Yes, it falls under like the studio and his marketing company because he
Wow.
markets like nobody
We
else.
should start a marketing company. We'd make some money
the
doing
way
that.
the money is.
Speaking of award shows though, didn't Blake and Ryan skip the Golden Globes and Deadpool was nominated and that was like a point of controversy?
Yeah, they did skip the Golden Globes. Hugh Jackman did too, and Hugh Jackman has his own scandal going on right now,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is weird because you have
yeah.
this like little web of like scandal.
But isn't
because
he performing right now? So like technically you could argue like he's performing.
you could
in
argue
the-
But I
And
also
in
saw that.
rehearsal.
I also saw that Blake and Ryan knew he was cheating on his wife and didn't say anything. Like they were okay with it.
allegedly.
They were complicit.
And-
Yeah,
It's weird
I
to
also,
me.
like I don't know that one's reaching a little bit. Not to say that they didn't know or didn't whatever, but like ask yourself, Brad, like if you knew that your friend was cheating on his wife, would you tell the wife?
I tell
Really?
him he needs to tell her.
Right,
and
but-
then if
but
he doesn't,
how
I
do we
will.
know that? Not, I don't know.
Am
this
I
is real.
catching him in the hotel room with said woman?
Yeah, full frontal. He's out. He's doing it,
Oh
and
my gosh.
she's liking it.
I'll tell.
Uh,
I would tell.
I would
you
probably tell
you
because-
would tell the significant other of your friend. I'm not to say that like okay, fine, you did like couple things together, but one is your friend, one is the significant other of your friend. You would tell the significant other of your friend.
I've been in this situation.
that
I
you're
would
friends.
I would tell your hubby. I would tell your
tell.
hubby.
You would
Ashley.
tell. Yeah.
I would.
I would tell, and I'm going to tell you why. I had a friend who
Mental note. No, I'm kidding.
like don't
Yeah.
do anything. Ashley.
You better hide it from
I
me,
would
Ashley.
never. I would.
We're all
never.
telling on you. But I had a friend who was in a similar situation, and I was friends with the husband first before I was ever friends with the wife. But he was cheating, stepping out on his
Mhm.
marriage. But she was home with 4 kids, and I thought
Ugh.
Oh,
this is- you
that's
know what?
brutal.
she needs to know. She needs to get her ducks in a row. And
Mhm.
how can I support you?
Right. I would tell too, but I would do it. I would say it in a way like, what can we do to make this as seamless as possible so that there's no, like with 4 kids or even no kids, but like to make it as like easy and seamless as possible. Like get them out, contact a lawyer, like figure it out. So there's no back and forth. There's no like, maybe I'll
Right.
stay, maybe like,
Yeah.
let's get you out. Let's get you like let's co-sign. I'll co-sign an apartment. Like, let's get you out of there.
Yeah,
you know?
but okay. But back to the cheating thing aside, let's talk about back to the Ryan Reynolds thing. I want to say I feel like Kristen that he comes across really bad in this story. He just comes across like he bullied Justin Baldoni a little bit because he knows who he is. He flexes that I'm Ryan Reynolds, basically. Am I wrong, Ashley? I feel like he comes across like a bully. You're bullying a guy that's not nearly on your level in Hollywood. Justin Baldoni's
Right.
not Ryan Reynolds.
Right. Like, I'll be honest. I had seen a couple episodes of Jane the Virgin, but not, I didn't know that Justin Baldoni was from Jane the Virgin. Like, I just did not know that. I didn't really know who he was. So, but I of course know who Ryan Reynolds is. So can you expand a bit? Like, yeah, does he come off as like fabulous? No, but it's interesting because I hear it like I heard that yeah, he like yelled at Justin at one point and demeaned him, but I don't yeah, I guess like thinking about it, no, he doesn't come off great, you know, he
Well,
certainly
he comes off.
doesn't.
Ashley,
Especially since
Kristen,
he stayed silent. He has not said anything, right?
he hasn't, but he's very petty. The fact that he creates a character, and I don't think this is that much of a stretch
right,
to
I
be
saw that.
to call him Nice Pool, and then
Yeah.
Blake Lively blows up a flower shop in the movie. And he's making fun of Justin Baldoni, but you know why? Because he has the power. He can do whatever he wants to do, and that's the problem with some of these
Yeah.
celebrities. They're never told they're wrong. And he
Right.
feels like he can bully this guy. And I think that's why people root for Baldoni. He could be in the wrong in a lot of areas, but they see him as a
The little guy.
sympathetic, the underdog. Because and she said it with her Game of Thrones quotes that have come
Yeah,
out
what
in the
was
text.
that? Why did she do like and also at what why did she do that? What was that in response to and why like why?
Power. Like that's the thing. Like it always comes down to money or power in Hollywood. Sometimes in the same breath, but you know, it's one of those situations. If you can flex your muscle over someone who has less power than you, people like to do that. Especially
How was
when
she cast in this movie? Because I've been hearing and reading that she doesn't even fit the role when it came to the book, let alone the script. How did it happen?
from what I understand, they were looking for a project for Blake because she works it pretty infrequently. You know, I feel like she comes out with a movie, what, every couple of years, maybe every 3 years. I mean, she's got 4 daughters, and some
Mhm.
of them are still very young. And I felt like this project kind of came to her attention. And for Justin, who was directing, it's great to have Blake Lively's name attached to it because
Right.
even if she isn't necessarily like Zendaya, you know, or that big name that everyone knows, she still has, I would say,
Fan.
A-list adjacent status because of Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan hangs out with Hugh and just all of that power. So they're thinking, great, this is the perfect fit for this type of situation. And
Mhm.
I think she was thinking, this is my Barbie. This is my
Right.
Margot Robbie movie to take me to the next level. And when she's telling us to like wear our florals and grab our girlfriends, and not the right tone, not the right movie or anything else like that. But people
Right.
are now into that theme dressing. You know, we saw it for Wicked, you know, she's in black and she's in green and she's in pink and all of that.
Mhm.
Or Barbie, we all wore pink. She was thinking, I can do that too with my movie. And you're like, not the right movie to do that with.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. Can you imagine us 3 dressing up to go see a movie about a woman getting abused? Like, it
It's-
And
just seems.
launching her
it's
hair care
crazy.
line in the same
Yeah,
time.
that it was just it felt very tone deaf
It was so tone deaf.
and
But-
like
But it was a monster hit, right? It made a lot of money.
Oh,
no,
20
it didn't.
It did.
But
it-
I thought it was a failure.
No.
No,
$25 million budget, $350 million globally.
Oh.
But critically, was it acclaimed? No, people are like, this is not a great movie. But people went out to see it. And I think some of the feud helped drive that. It's done well on Netflix. The studio is
watched it on Netflix.
dying. Yeah, studio's dying to make the sequel, but you can't make the sequel when you
Right.
have the 2 leads at each other's throats.
And he gets the last laugh on this because he
He
owns.
owns the rights.
the rights,
So they'd have to be bought from him if they wanted to make it with a different director. And so is he in the sequel? Like not as a director. I mean, is that character, the character he played, is that man in the sequel, the father of her baby?
I don't know.
I
'Cause
don't know. I haven't
the
read.
books.
Yeah, I haven't read the book. It
I
starts
would
with
love
us.
to see the film that was meant to be like that he wanted released.
His was released. It wasn't hers, right? It was his
No,
version.
Her version.
Her version was released.
He lost out to her. I thought they liked his version better.
I don't know
He
that
did
it
not
mattered
get
who
final
liked
director's
what.
cut. Yeah.
Okay, Kristen, I'm confused. If I own the rights to a movie, I should get final say. It's kind of like on this show. I'll get final say of what I'm going to say or what's going to happen, just because I want to. But why can't he get final?
I have an answer to this.
Yeah,
There's
I
an
wanna
answer
hear
to
Okay,
this.
I want to hear it.
So you've got 3 entities here. You've got Blake, you've got Justin, And the ultimate say on this is going to be Sony. And Sony's going to say who they want to, what version they're going to release in the end. And they already know, like the studio knew that this was all flying around, like this discourse. But who are you going to side with in the end? And I'm only talking about money and I'm only talking about power. Blake, still the bigger name than Justin, but again, A-list adjacent because you've got the Ryan Reynolds muscle behind it.
So could he have taken this movie to Lionsgate or to a smaller? Could he have taken it to Netflix and not cast Blake Lively, but cast a pretty popular blonde?
Yeah.
And he could have had final say at that point, right? Because this is what I'm gonna. He probably regrets that, right? I would regret that. The fact that he had to sit in a basement during the premiere is insulting. That's like if they throw us three. Why do I keep saying four? They throw us three in a basement to celebrate Tanya's Emmy win. Like, we're not going to be in the basement. We're going to be up top.
No, we helped her get there. How dare they? No, but wait. Was that during the viewing of the movie or during the red carpet? Because he was on part of the red carpet. I saw a few photos, not as much as everybody else. But
from
what was that
I understand,
during?
yeah. So they walked the red carpet separately. So I think Justin walked early, did all his press, and then was ushered to the basement or a different theater or wherever it was to watch the film.
Without
and then
everybody else, that's
Blake's,
heartbreaking.
and the rest of the cast.
That's hard. That's true.
I wouldn't even go, Kristen. I'd be like, you know what? I'm just not going to show up at the premiere. I'll cash my checks. I don't need to show up. Could he do that, or was he contractually obligated to be at the premiere?
I don't think you're contractually obligated to go to a movie premiere.
You're contractually obligated to do press for the movie. I don't necessarily know if that always includes the red carpet.
Yeah.
It just depends what your contract looks like. But I do know Justin cares. I do know that. Like, Justin really does a lot, like, in terms of he directed Clouds. I don't know if anyone saw that movie too. Like, he has passion projects, and I think he threw a lot into this. And even if it wasn't his final cut, I still think he took pride in the work that he did,
of course,
and showed up. And so
I guess you're right. It'd be hard.
And it was a big movie. Like, why wouldn't he go? It was
he doesn't.
Yeah, but they're treating him like a second-rate citizen. Do you think Sony, at the end of this, wants to get in business with Blake Lively again? They can't, right? There's no way they're jumping to be in business with her.
I mean, they had the same exact agent or agency, I should say, talent agency, and he got dropped.
Didn't WME drop him?
Yes.
Well,
that was before his lawsuit. That was before other things had come out. That was almost instantly after she had I don't even think she had a lawsuit yet. I think she just said
she had filed the complaint in California. Yeah. And then the lawsuit was filed in New York where they filmed it.
Kristen, if I'm Justin Baldoni, I'm keeping receipts in my mind. All these actors that were on the show, on the movie with me, that are coming out going, #Blake, we love Blake, it's Blake, and they're basically ignoring him. And then he drops all this evidence. I'm never working with those people again. There's no way I want to work with Jenny Slate and that dude that was his rival in the movie. I'm not working with these people. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like, you turn your back on me without me getting a chance, only because she's Blake Lively, and they know if they get in with her, Ryan Reynolds will help their career. They can be in Blake Lively movies for the rest of their life if they want. And I think they're scratching her back.
I'd be curious, though, because obviously they were witnesses to some of this power structure and dynamic. I would love to hear what they had to say. What did they witness? Because likely they're going to be subpoenaed if this case goes to trial. And
why aren't they saying it now? Why aren't they saying, oh, well, because again, there's probably, you get in arguments with your employees. It happens.
Right? Their lawyers, their entertainment lawyers are probably telling them to shut up as much as possible. Don't say anything.
I would assume.
Kristen, this is amazing.
It's very messy. It's very messy.
It's such
has Hollywood had something like this? Not including Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, not including that, because that was, I felt like that actually, like, in terms of like an audience, it came out of nowhere kind of. Has Hollywood had something like this happen within the last 15, 20, even 20 years? Like, when's the last time something like this type of issue happened, or this type of like where people needed lawyers and yada yada. I can't even.
I can't either. Like I can think of like a Broadway situation where Patti LuPone and Andrew Lloyd Webber, but that's going back like 30 years.
I'm thinking
I'm
of,
just
like,
thinking
the
like,
Godfather creation, but that's still.
and I do think this case, that's why I'm saying like the best side is to take no side in it, to just really see that there's so many layers of things going on, especially behind the scenes. I feel like this case, however it turns out, will be taught in law school, in like an entertainment law class. I think anyone who's going for any type of communications degree, this will be taught in your publicity course, because this is, it's one thing to be a publicist and like, leading celebrities down the red carpet. It's another thing to be a crisis publicist and have something like this so messy. And I feel like you're going to see courses built around this in the future.
It's an amazing story, but I want to talk about this before we're done, Kristen. I want to know about the Oscars. I want to get back to, why don't they nominate movies that we have seen? It's like we're going to nominate movies that have not played in my town, and I'm just like, what's up? I pulled the list up, and I want to ask. I want to ask you, Kristen, like, what of these movies, which ones have you seen? The first one is, hold on, I got to pull up Read More here. Anora.
I've not seen Anora yet, but I will say I'm excited to see it because Sean Baker does great films. He did The Florida Project a few years ago, and he did Tangerine, which was shot on an iPhone back in the day. Yeah, both really good movies. So I'm looking forward to seeing Anora.
The Brutalist.
I don't know if I have 3.5 hours to do that.
That was great. My stepsister just saw it and she said it was fabulous.
Oh, it's good.
That's the one with Adrian Brody.
Brody, yes.
Yeah, she said it was incredible. I'm excited. I want to see that one.
He's a good actor, too.
He's phenomenal.
A Complete Unknown.
Yes. Timothy Chalamet.
That's the Bob Dylan movie, right?
Bob Dylan, yep.
I would watch that one.
Yeah, he's great. He's always fabulous.
He's so talented.
Conclave.
This is actually pretty decent.
I don't think I've seen. Which one is that? What is that one?
It's the one about the Pope in Vatican.
I haven't seen
This was the front runner. If we had done the Oscars, let's say in like October, November, this one would have won. It's kind of like losing steam, but it's a good drama.
Okay, not seen it. Dune Part 2. That's probably the biggest one on the list financially, right?
Wicked also.
Oh yeah, Wicked. That's my next one. Wicked. Yeah. Dune and Wicked.
Dune and Wicked are your box office popcorn movies that made it on the list.
Too bad Madam Web couldn't have been there. The Substance with Demi Moore.
I want to see that so badly.
She's so good in it.
I love her.
So good.
I love her.
Body horror. And that's another thing. Like I find that interesting because how often do we get to see a suspense body horror genre nominated?
Nickel Boys. I don't even know what that is.
That's with Coleman Domingo. I haven't seen that one yet. I heard it's very good, but very artsy, like very theatrical. And
I like those movies.
Oscar, yeah.
I'm Still Here. Which one is that one? I'm Still Here. I don't even know.
Why am I forgetting?
Very familiar, but
I know why.
I was thinking that was the Bob Dylan movie there for a minute. I'm Still Here.
No,
is that not the Joaquin Phoenix documentary from like 15 years ago?
It's I don't know what this is. I don't recognize it.
No, I haven't seen this one either.
I
okay.
Can't tell you what it
and
is.
Lastly, Amelia Perez,
which is like, how did this one get this far? Have you seen it on Netflix? I haven't
seen it. No,
I saw a scene from it, and I'm like, I feel dumber in this scene. Now, it just Ashley and I were talking about this I don't know if we're recording now. We're talking about this, but it's like they talk about it on here. It's like, I'm gonna get that surgery. It's just like, just speak it.
It's a musical that doesn't like.
It's not Wicked.
It's not. It's a musical that doesn't. I don't want to say doesn't value music because that's clearly not correct. I have not seen this movie. I haven't listened to the music. I've seen that one scene, or I've seen a couple scenes where it's like talking, almost like La La Land, like talking, singing.
Sing, yeah.
Like
I don't like musicals.
I love musicals, but
I
like
love La La
musicals.
Land though. Like I just didn't love Amelia Perez.
I like musicals like Grease. I love theatrical dance numbers. I love where like grown men play 17-year-olds. I love it when they're grounded and dancing on a car. But like I like the chutzpah, the whole to do when it comes to a musical. So
Did you like Wicked?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay, it's really good.
It's very that one's it's a very long one. It came out when I was like in the process of moving, and like I think I sneezed that day. Like I had a lot going on. I have not seen it yet, but I probably will at some point. I cannot say that I'll see it before the Oscars though. When are the Oscars again? They're in
March.
This is right.
I feel like, which one do you think's winning? It's probably gonna be Amelia Perez, right? They're just gonna give it to the musical.
Probably.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be Amelia Perez. I
will
will never watch that movie.
No,
I will never watch it.
So we'll see what happens.
It's got 13 noms. That's a lot. So I mean,
That's
how many did Saving Private Ryan get? It didn't get. How many did Forrest Gump get? Did he get less than the 13?
Yeah, I think it beat or something like that.
Forrest Gump got less noms than Amelia Perez.
Pulp Fiction should have won that year, though. I'm still on that train.
Okay, real quick before we're done. Adrian Brody, The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet. He's gonna win it, right? He's gonna win Best Actor. This guy's pretty good.
Like 1,000 times.
Yeah, he's like
yeah. If
he's
you
the
had said
Leo DiCaprio.
2 weeks ago, I think Adrian Brody would have won, and I think now that Timothy Chalamet is going to win it.
Well,
what if they give it to Sebastian Stan as a middle finger to Donald Trump?
Oh, they actually. I mean,
he could get it.
It's a hypothesis.
He won't. I don't think he'll win it. He won't win it. He won't.
I haven't seen that movie either.
Because he's not been in the race long enough. Like Timothy Chalamet and Adrian Brody have been on every single list. Sebastian Stan has dropped in, come out. He's not going to win it.
Okay, and then we got I'm looking at Monica Barbaro, a complete unknown. I don't know her. I don't think I've ever seen a movie with Monica Barbaro in it.
Isn't Kieran Culkin nominated though?
He's Best Supporting Actor.
Oh, supporting. Okay.
And the guy from what's that show on HBO that's really good? The Family, the Power Family.
Succession?
Yeah, the guy from Succession is in The Apprentice. He's nominated. Supporting actor.
Oh, okay. So
Jeremy Strong.
Wait, isn't Kieran Culkin in that show as well?
Yeah, he is. And Edward Norton. I like Edward. Edward Norton doesn't do enough movies. He's a great actor.
I love him. He's amazing.
If I had to pick, I'd want him or Kieran Culkin to win it, just because I like Macaulay Culkin and I like Edward Norton.
Well, did you see the movie that Kieran Culkin's nominated for? Because I just watched it.
It's on Hulu. Is it good?
It's on Hulu. I think it's also on Apple TV. What is it called again?
A Real Pain.
A Real Pain. Yeah, it's great. I will say this. It's a beautiful film. I think Jesse Eisenberg is incredible as a director. I think he wrote it as well. I've had a crush on him for a very long time, for over a decade, and to the point where my family knows and they talk to me about it. But I will say the end of the film, I was pissed off. And that's all I'll say, because if you haven't seen it, I don't
blow it.
I
want to watch it.
But I loved the film throughout it. And then the ending, I was so angry.
Let me ask you this, Kristen. Why Ariana Grande supporting and not act? Is she a supporting character in Wicked over Cynthia Erivo, or could they both have been best actresses?
It's what category you submit yourself in. Ariana knew she had a better chance at getting nominated. She's not going to win, but just even getting the nomination by putting her in the supporting category. Wicked Part 1, which is Act 1, if you've ever seen the Broadway musical, is essentially Elphaba's big number and song. So they knew that they wanted to bring forward Cynthia Erivo in the Best Actress category and then have Ariana submitted in the Best Supporting category.
And it'll be switched probably the next one, right? I bet Ariana Grande gets Best Actress and Cynthia
Possibly.
Erivo.
We don't
But
know what it looks like. We got to wait until November.
I'm rooting for Demi Moore to win Best Actress.
That would
just
be
because
like
I
a
grew up.
Leonardo DiCaprio moment because like
she's
never
the
really been nominated.
leading. She's the front runner right now for that movie. So
She is. I was
is
over
Her
Carla.
speech
Over Carla. The
from
really,
Emmanuel
I don't think
Perez,
they're gonna hand it to
yes.
that person. I figured that's who it was getting it.
The Demi Moore's speech at the Golden Globes may have sort of propelled her to the front of the line.
I'm gonna watch it.
I gotta watch it. I'm rooting for Demi Moore, and you know she's a blast from my past. She was great in The Butcher's Wife, great in Ghost, not so good in Nothing But Trouble. G.I. Jane.
Angels 2 Full Throttle.
That's new to Demi. I'm talking
St. Elmo's
classic. Demi.
Fire.
Yeah, that Mortal Faults. She's been in some Disclosure. She was in some good stuff. Indecent Proposal. We said that same time, Kristen. Oh my gosh, I love it. Demi Moore's great. I'm telling you, I'm rooting for her. And last category, director Sean Baker and Nora. I don't know.
Sean Baker's a great director. I don't think this is his time, but he's going to get an Oscar at some point in his career.
Wait, wasn't that chick that's in Anora nominated, the lead?
Yes, I believe.
Did I not name her? She's
I don't.
yeah, Mickey Madison. Mikey Madison. Mikey Madison.
6, I love the Scream movies. So
that's another big drama there. The Scream drama is crazy. We got to have Kristen on another time. Just talk about how
it was Scream 5.
The Scream actresses just blew their whole Scream thing up, and they got fired. Now they got to do a whole new thing. They're bringing Nev Campbell back, and I don't like Nev Campbell.
Wait. No, don't you dare! I wish I could watch all of the Scream movies for the first time again.
I'll pass. I've seen Scream 3. It's terrible. I've seen them all. In the last Scream was one of the best, Kristen. It was one of the best. But now they've just rebooted that whole storyline again, and they're bringing Nev Campbell back, and she's one note. They won't kill Courtney Cox off.
Hey, stop it, because you're offending me now. Because I will watch this same story in Woodsboro.
Kristen, thank you so much for coming on. You've been amazing. You just basically come on to referee our debate on Scream movies. That's where you'll be back next. And you got to see Tanya, and I'm hoping Tanya gets an Emmy nom so we can go out and party with Tanya. That's the goal.
So fun.
Yeah. Who do I need to write to get her a nomination?
LA Zoo.
LA Zoo.
Her producers need to pick the best clips and get that nominated. So whoever produced her docuseries.
Kristen, it's the same guy that made Tiger King.
Well, then they're definitely going to submit.
They got to. It is better, in my mind, it's better than Tiger King, and I'm biased because she comes on and she's a friend now, but it's a great doc. And if anybody's listening right now, go listen to my conversation with Tanya. She's very likable. I told her in our interview, I didn't like her on the show. I think she's a liar, but she's
a friend.
Now she's a friend, and she's not a liar now. She's a lying friend, yes. Yeah. But she's not a liar, listener. She's great. I love Tanya. But Kristen, thank you so much for reporting the best and biggest news. And we'll keep following you. What about Dancing with Stars? What's coming up with that? When's the next cycle for that?
September. It's only once a year now.
Only once a year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Is there any talk to have Sheena Shea on Dancing with the Stars? Can you give us?
Did you hear? She's like, I am
she's
not
over it now.
She's over it because she wants to be on The Traitors. I'm like, you would be the worst on that show.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that. But I just think that's because a lot of Bravo people are getting onto The Traitors, and I think that's why she's sort of like shooting her shot there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Tom Sandoval has no idea how to play the game. He's there and he's like,
yeah. Is Tom Sandoval in the room with us?
Are you watching Traitors, Kristen?
Oh yes, I love it.
I love Traitors. It's one of my favorite shows ever as far as reality because it's fun.
So many people are into it, and it's a different kind of reality TV.
It is. I pitched this to Heidi on the network from Survivor. What if they did a Traitors, Kristen, where it was all hosts of reality shows?
Oh,
like you got Jeff
so they
Probst.
know the ins and outs already.
Yeah, and they pick traders. See, I'd want to be a trader if I was on there. That's the most fun. But this season for me, my favorite Survivor player of all time, Rob. My second favorite is my favorite is Heidi, of course. But my favorite outside of people I don't know is Rob, and then Tony,
Mm-hmm.
and I like Jeremy.
Yeah.
And it's like they just picked them off, man. I'm just like, gosh,
But
I
that
want
was
more
smart.
Tony. It was, but Carolyn blows my mind. She's a wild card, and I know
I have to
Heidi's rooting
start,
for
like,
Carolyn.
watching this season because I can't.
And Tom, I don't know anything about Tom Sandoval. I've never seen him in anything. I don't know.
You don't know the beauty of Vanderpump Rules. I'm jealous
Scandival of
you. You get
Scandivals.
to watch that all for the first time from the beginning, like muzzle.
Explain this to me. Why does he have an issue with Chrishell? Why does he not like Chrishell?
Oh, well, I think Chrishell is friends with his ex, Ariana. And I love Chrishell. I watch Selling Sunset. I love her.
She's fun.
Okay, yeah.
I love her so
My
much.
wife
She's-
watches Selling Sunset
She's
also.
stunning. I love her style. I love her attitude. I think she's got a lot of chutzpah. She stands up for herself. I think she's beautiful. I'm a big fan of Chrishell.
I like Bob. He's one of my favorite hosts from Biggest Loser. Bob. It's
Bob
nice to
Harper.
see he's alive and he's doing well. And I'm rooting for Derek, who is my favorite Big Brother player of all time. I mean, this is like the best season of Traders for me because I've got a bunch of favorites on here. And I look forward to Thursday nights because I get to watch it at 8
We
o'clock.
need 2 episodes a week, though. I will say I hate waiting like every week for just
it's
one
so
episode.
bad.
Yeah.
What does the episodes look like on NBC? Because they cuss a lot on Peacock, but NBC shows them. Are they cutting out the F-bombs on NBC, or are they dropping the F-bombs? Can they do that now?
Peacock are always extended versions. In fact, that's the same thing with Vanderpump Rules.
I
If
love
you watch
it.
on
Yeah.
Bravo,
and,
it's
and
one
all
thing.
Of the housewife shows.
Yeah, you get extended versions
I'm getting
on
my
Peacock.
computer charger. My computer's about to die.
Oh my gosh. Well, Kristen, we could sit here and talk Traders all night. I
Like-
love it.
No, you have to stay. Oh, my wonderful husband is going to get my charger, so he's.
Oh, but it's the best show. It's a great. Alan Cumming is amazing on there as the host. He's great. Although Kristen, Peacock Traders Australia is still my favorite. I would go for that one over Traders in America. Could we get a Tanya? I've asked Tanya this. I want her to go on Traders because
I think you have to be like invited to do it.
You do,
She
and you
does.
need to speak with Dina Katz, who is the executive producer, not only of Dancing with the Stars, but also of The Traders and The Masked Singer. And I don't think Dina will get her on Traders first. You have to like kind of do your time. She'd have to go and do like Masked Singer first.
How did they
or
get
Dancing
Vanessa
with the
Hudgens
Stars.
on Masked Singer though? Because she's Vanessa Hudgens.
And she can sing.
She can sing. She can act. She can dance. She can.
you shouldn't be able to sing and
She
be
can
on the
juggle
Masked
on
Singer.
one foot. Like, how did they get her?
Someone needed the cash.
I guess
she
did.
probably got a
true.
huge paycheck. She
That
probably
when
did.
High School
When they
Musical
have
money.
someone big, well, when Giuliani showed up on The Masked Singer, I was like,
Oh,
someone was
I
there
did-
for the cash. He has
Is
a
the
lot of
Masked
legal
Singer?
bills.
Does it ever end, Kristen? I feel like it's constantly a new season. Like right when the 2 a
seasons
year feels like 4. I was going to ask you about. So Tanya, in the documentary that I want you to watch, Kristen, Chimp Crazy, Alan is a bitter rival of Tanya. He can't stand her. Like he was in the movie with Tonka called Buddy back in the day. So to get Tanya on the show would be amazing just to see Alan's reaction because they do not like each other. She will cuss Alan Cumming a lot. She
She's
doesn't
got
like
to do
Alan.
her reality time first, and so she has to have Dina Katz, the executive producer, get to know her. I'd say have her agent submit for Masked Singer first.
Oh my gosh, Tanya needs to do it. I'm gonna message her and tell her she needs to do that because she needs to get on another reality show.
There's
Just
a
follow
hierarchy
her
to
house.
all this. This is a hierarchy in all of the reality shows too.
Kristen,
So
would you ever do a reality show? Not these competition shows, but a show like a Real Housewives show where you're followed and it's more of like a docu-series type thing.
I would do it if it was workplace only. I don't want my husband and I wouldn't want people following us around. I know the kiss of death in the Housewives.
Yeah.
We've seen that too much.
Yeah.
And Bill and we're good, we're solid, and I don't want anything to ruin
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Kristen, would you do a reality show? It's funny you bring this up. Ashley and I were talking before you came on. Would you do a reality show called the Hopecast House, where all of the people on the Hopecast network stays in a house together for 3 weeks, and we live there like Big Brother style, and we get to see the
Yeah.
drama and the arguments and the scandal. I think this would be amazing because we've got some wild
Brad,
characters.
do you just
having
have like, a
Tanya.
scandal ready to go? Like,
Well, we got to have a scandal. Eva's got to at least be made up. We
I
got to have
already
a
know
scandal.
that I'm Switzerland. I'd be like, guys, 2 things can coexist at
right,
once.
right. Yeah, you're good at that.
She
You're
would
good
be
at
the
that, yeah.
nicest one, though. Everybody watching
She's
like
our
Kristen's
PR, she's
so
our
nice.
crisis PR person.
Yeah,
in the
she
house,
is.
I'd be
you
like,
know?
you don't want to do this on camera. Do not
Mhm.
say that.
Tanya's bringing her monkeys. She's just all around. We're having a ball. It's just it's just a lot. I think this would be a funny reality show, though, Kristen. If you ever want to do one, come stay at the Hopecast house. Ashley's going to build it.
House.
The Hopecast house. That's it. I tell you, Kristen, always great having you, and we'll have you back. Hopefully, you'll want to come back after this diarrhea conversation that Ashley's subjected you to.
I don't think Kristen was here for the diarrhea. And
Only
I
the
certainly-
second,
and
like,
I
little
didn't
tail
get
end.
to the end of it too. So.
What if we're all like in our 90s still reporting and bringing
Oh,
Kristen on to
God.
talk about Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively's case? Tell
That's
us
how
a
long
little
the case
more.
is gonna take. That's how long.
It's a little more.
I'm gonna start reporting directly from the toilet then.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
like if it takes that long, I don't have it.
If you're 90 years old, you're in a diaper, Ashley. Don't even act like you're not going to be in one.
It's probably
Kristen,
true, actually.
Thank you so much. We'll be following you as always, and good luck during award season. And I want you to come back after the awards are over, and we'll talk about what we said tonight in comparison. And I'm going to go back to the tape and see how excited I was about Joker 2. I want
love
to see
it.
how excited I
wanna see
was.
that too. I wanna
Yes,
see
do
that.
it. And we'll see how well Conan does, because Conan's hosting the Oscars. I think.
I think he'll be a
Oh.
great host. I think he'll be a
think so
great
too.
host.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll
He's
be
good.
I think
He's
it's a good
good.
choice.
Yes. Well, thank you, Kristen. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Kristen.
Have a good one. Well, that was fun.
Ugh, she is gone finally.
She was amazing. I love when Kristen comes on.
No,
Do
I
you
don't-
think she was a little taken aback when Tanya popped up?
I don't. Did she know Tanya was coming on, or
No. I don't warn
so
people
then
that
she
Tanya.
probably was a little shocked to see.
She was
her.
like, whoa. Do you think we'd have a fun party at an Emmy party with Tanya?
I think we'd have a fun party at almost any party. And if Tanya's there, Mazel Tov. But like, I'm pretty sure that if you and I are at the same party and
Oh.
there is tequila, or I'm almost positive that we'll have a blast.
Yes, we will definitely have a blast. It's going to be fun. And I love that both of them want to come on all the time and chat with us, Ashley. And
No, I
that's-
love that. I'm so and I love Kristen. Every single time I talk to her, I always learn a lot. But she's great. I love her.
Although I will say, I feel like the lady who's a dude is going to win Best Actress. I think that's who they're giving it to.
What movie is that? I don't even
From Amelia Perez. I think that's
I
who
haven't seen it, so I don't even know who you're talking about.
it's the actress or the actress Carla Sofia Gascon,
I don't
who
know
was
that
a
is.
dude until 2018, and then they transitioned.
Okay, and then
And
and
now they're
then-
Best
and-
Actress.
But they're okay. I'm okay.
They're trans.
Right. What have they been in besides this?
I don't know. I think it's like the first thing.
I see. The thing is, I can't comment on anything because I haven't seen the movie, and I probably won't because it's just I'm not interested in many of the movies that are nominated right now.
Will
I
we
will-
do this movie on Movie Torture?
See, here's the thing: if we do the movie on Movie Torture, then I'm forced to watch it. So
I don't want to even be forced. I don't even want to watch it. To me, it seems we can't make fun of a movie like this and not have non-politically correct jokes. So we can't do this movie. We would get canceled by somebody. We
by
can't do it.
The canceling department.
Yeah, like Kristen would never come on our show again if
Oh,
we
yeah,
did that.
yeah.
I mean,
Listen,
she would never do it. She'd be like, I
I
can't.
I like doing movies on Movie Torture that like are easy to sort of like make fun of.
Yeah, and that's
Except
it.
I will
Well,
say when we do the Beautician and the Beast, there's nothing to make fun of because it's a
the whole movie is going to be made fun of. Jacob
No,
and I
it's
are
an
watching.
amazing movie.
We're talking. People are listening right now. We're talking. Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about a different show.
If you want to leave us a voicemail, you can go on our website now, which is pretty amazing, and leave us a voicemail, and we will answer your questions. If you have a question for Kristen or Tanya in the future, leave a voicemail. We'll find out. We'll get back to you on that. Follow Ashley on Lots of Laughs on her 85 podcast on the Hopecast Network.
Mhm.
And make sure Ashley, you're great on here. I'm really glad you're now my co-host.
Thank you. I'm so
On
happy
Work
to
Advice.
be here. I'm so
Hey.
happy to be here.
You've gone from guest to host.
I know.
How did you ascend?
I don't know. I know. It's just the power of me. And I promise
It
by
is.
the next episode, I'm going to get to the end of my diarrhea story.
It-
Because like
Oh,
you didn't
yeah.
even hear the rest of it. Like you don't know what happened.
We're an hour and a half
Yeah,
in.
I'll
let's
get to it
let's
next.
continue this next episode. But I will say, I figured you were going to say by the next episode you're going to be owning this, and I'm going to be gone. Like you're just
Yeah.
ascended to the top. You're like, this is-
I'm going to be the host and you're going to be a guest. You're going to be friend of.
My goal is I've been a guest on one podcast, and it's yours. I like
Right.
being. I want to be a guest on someone's podcast. That's my goal, where I can just log in and talk, and not
I know,
have the
don't you just
responsibility
like love talking? That's the
I-
thing. I just want to
to
like
people I want to talk to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like people. Like I hate people, but I love talking.
Yeah,
like
you and
you.
I, we've been
We have
talking an
way
hour
better-
and 30 minutes, and we
I
could
know.
still go another hour of just gabbing
No, I could
right
keep
now.
talking. I could keep talking.
But let's leave on a cliffhanger with the fans.
okay.
We will be back, and next time we're gonna have the conclusion of your Mexican diarrhea story.
You'll find out whether I made it to the toilet on time or not.
Well, it's not really Mexican. You're at the sushi bar.
No, yeah,
with diarrhea.
I'm in Miami.
Yeah, you're not in Mexico
You'll just find
anymore.
out what happened because there was a lot of turmoil and emotional stress that was involved.
Oh, were you with friends? Or was it just you and your hubby?
I was with my husband and a friend, and like
Well, don't finish it. I just want to know the
Yeah.
situation.
I was with
So-
both of them.
Okay. I'm picturing the scene right now. And
Your picture.
when we're off, I want every listener just to be imagining what the Hopecast house would look like.
And what the toilet would look like.
It would be destroyed. It would be destroyed.
Yeah, I would be in there all the time.
If we've only got one toilet, Kristen would be like Switzerland. She'd be like, "Y'all need to play nice. We've got a toilet here." Tanya's letting the
No, we
monkeys
couldn't
use
have
the
one
toilet.
We couldn't have one toilet. I wouldn't live in that house.
Yeah, we need to have at least 3.
I need my own toilet.
Yeah, I don't want to share. I'm not a communal toilet guy.
No. Mm-mm.
Anyway, for Ashley, my new host, my name is Brad. We will see you next time on Work Advice from Me.
Woo woo.
That was so much fun.
That was so fun, but we're still recording. Oh no, we're not. Okay.
That was so much fun. That was the most fun I've had